Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd. Today is Monday, January 12th. 4 days left of the portal. LSU's roster is starting to round out. Obviously, the big question going into the portal and the big question over these last couple weeks is who's going to be the quarterback. Feels like LSU swung and missed on a couple of their top targets. And then news came out today just now that LSU and Sam Leavitt has committed to LSU now. Not completely done deal. He has committed. He has not signed. There are some still contract conversations going on, but Tennessee is trying to jump in last minute and sweeten their offer. So we will keep monitoring that and talk about throughout the course of the show. Bryce Koon coming on the show here soon. He is going live right now with On3's. And when he is done, I'd imagine he's just going to jump back on. So he's got all the information, obviously, everything going on behind the scenes. But big win for LSU to get him. They obviously landed the quarterback from Elon. And potentially you're going to land Hassan Longstreet. That's his name, right?
That's right.
Longstreet. I keep wanting to say Longfellow.
Deeds.
From Deeds.
Safe.
So LSU went from having 0 quarterbacks to having 3 really good quarterbacks. All 3, I think they feel comfortable starting. Obviously, Levitt with the most experience, number 1 guy in the portal, is the top priority. We'll see what happens with him. It sounds good right now, but you don't want to put the cart before the horse. Offensive line seems like it'd be the next position group. You're starting to see these guys from Ole Miss put their name in the portal. It feels like LSU and Ole Miss are doing a lot of back and forth and just trading players.
Tamper.
Yeah, tamper one way or the other. We gave them an inside offensive lineman and Koon. Seems like they have a freshman that just put his name in the portal. Seems like he's probably going to head this way. LSU is starting to slowly get their offensive line together. That is probably the last position group. The receiver room looks great. They've brought in 9 new guys, including keeping Nick Anderson, the 9 guys on top of him. So the receiver room seems like it is back to
health
LSU standards and healthy and talented. Offensive line is the next one, and obviously there's some other guys that can mix and match. I know they're looking at a defensive end right now from Missouri, who is one of the top defensive ends in the portal. He comes in. They're gonna add a couple other pieces, but offensive line right now is the primary focus. We'll talk to Bryce about that as well. LSU baseball officially starts today. First practice for the squad. We're going to have Jay on at some point this week, hopefully Wednesday, depending on what happens between with my life situations that are going on right now. As you may know, my wife, but our baby, she's about to have a child in the next week or so. Supposed to be next Monday, could be happening before that. Our co-host, Jared Mitchell, also having a child. His is going to come this week. So depending on what happens.
Okay.
Oh, no, not you. Not you. Depending on what happens in our live stuff, we're going to have planning on having a show and having Jay on the show on Wednesday. We will keep you updated on that. But we're not going to talk a ton of baseball today. We're going to talk more baseball later on in the week. We're here to talk football. We're here to talk LSU football. We're here to talk transfer portal. A lot of things have happened over the course of the last few days. And Bryce Koon from On3 is in the studio.
The father himself.
Via video call. Just coming off his show. He's the hardest working man in sports right now.
I mean, I did 2 shows also.
He's got all the information. I'm sure he's ready to talk about it because he hasn't been talking about it enough over the course of the last 3 weeks. But he's got the information, hopefully, that we don't have. And Bryce, welcome back to the show, dude. Welcome back. It's been a wild portal, but specifically a wild last few days. Obviously, the quarterback conversation has been very loud, and there's been a lot of trolls out there saying, oh, LSU keeps swinging and missing at all their quarterback targets. I thought Lane was the guy. The whole Levitt situation when he's here, and then Lane flew out there. Now Levitt has committed, but there's a caveat in that Tennessee is trying to sweeten the pot. What are you hearing on that? Is this a done deal, or do we still have to sweat this thing out for a little bit longer?
Verbally committed, should be signed. I think that this is about as done deal as you're going to get. I mean, look, Tennessee came in apparently with a really, I don't want to say a Godfather offer, but a really attractive offer. And You have to consider it. Anytime you're talking about the amount of money we're talking about, upwards of $5, potentially $6 million. So you got to consider that. And I guess the last conversation I had, which was at 5:40, so about 25, 30 minutes ago, was like, hey, we feel good about it. Still like we don't feel like that's gonna. It's not going to be a hiccup. So, and maybe it never was a real hiccup. Maybe it's just, news circulating out there, and that Tennessee's doing what they should for a quarterback that they obviously value on the open market.
Now, let me ask you this: does their offer did that change LSU's offer? Like, do you have any figures or numbers or estimates on what that number may be for LSU?
Like, did LSU have to come back and counter?
Yeah,
I don't know that per se. The problem with this and the issue with this is I think it is pretty well documented that Levitt and them have been seeking the highest amount of money, which they should. Like, it is what it is. It's a player's market. And I don't know if the figure changed off of what it was. I don't even think I could. I don't know if I could give you a ballpark of what Tennessee offered and whether LSU countered or not. But he's being paid. He's going to be paid pretty handsomely.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think this is safe to say this is over 4.5. Now, once you get past that,
right.
I don't really know where the point of no return is for either program. So I would say the last time I heard, like, this price sat between like 4.2, 4.3, and continuing up there. Sorsby got, what was it from Texas Tech? 6.
I think it was 4.5.
4.5. So, like, Levitt in that same ballpark, maybe a little bit more, considering you're entering, I guess, a bidding war. But as of right now, I have no idea if Tennessee's offered. I don't know how serious Levitt's camp was. Like, no, we're already committed here. We're going to stay here. Really was.
Now, LSU had no quarterbacks. Now they have 2 quarterbacks, potentially a third. Hassan Longstreet.
Oh, my God.
I almost did it again. Almost did it again. I keep wanting to call him Longfellow, like Deeds. You mentioned him. You mentioned him 2 weeks ago, right? Hey, if everything falls apart and you don't get your top guys, who do you like? You mentioned him. He was actually obviously on a visit last week, or I guess a couple days ago. He's still out there. LSU has been public news. It has been mentioned that they are still interested in having him. What is the likelihood of them signing him as well?
I would pump the brakes on that right now. I know that's kind of been circulating out there because Longstreet's camp, and most notably his father, have made it apparent that, one, they really enjoyed the LSU visit, but they left USC for a reason.
Yeah.
They wanted to start. Jaden Maeva was the starter out there. I think he ended up having a pretty good year. There's no reason to think that he was not be the de facto guy for them. And so when you ask yourself, what are you entering the portal for? A guy like Longstreet, who has all of the talent in the world, like uber talented, really big arm, live arm. What are you looking for? You're looking for a chance where, did you leave a situation just to go to the same thing that you just did? Look, Lincoln Riley, for all the issues that he's had in terms of being able to get to the playoff and win the big one, he's coached some quarterbacks. So you left a situation where you could have just sat and developed and it would have made sense. I just don't know how confident I feel as of 6/11, on
right.
Monday evening of saying that they're going to get him. I think that he's a name that could re-enter the sweepstakes elsewhere. Does Tennessee kick the tires here? Does Miami really take a long look? I think Miami is a team that you could watch for Longstreet. It would make a lot of sense with Beck moving on and maybe not a true apparent heir to that quarterback room. Tennessee's weird to me. Just a side note on that, because they're awaiting the Joey Aguilar waiver, which he probably has the best case out of some of these players because he did spend some years in JUCO, I believe I was told. So that would make some sense that he'd go for the Diego Pavia rule. But outside of that, like, Jake Mertlinger entered the portal for them. They've got, I think, the number 1 quarterback in 2026 committed to going up there. They've got George McIntyre, who LSU looked at a lot last cycle. They've got some young talent in the room. So do you want to add that? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing folds.
Jared, you got one?
Yeah, Bryce, you talk a lot about the whole quarterback situation right now. I want to go to what will be their best friend next year, these receivers in the receiver room and what Lane is doing with that room. You only bring back Nick Anderson, which I think is a big thing. One of the things I talked about a lot last year was you brought in a ton of talent. But it seemed to be that a lot of those guys did the exact same thing. They played the exact same way, and they were the exact same kind of receivers. This year, it seems to be that you are adding a variety of ways to attack people in the portal. Can you speak a little bit on the guys that they've got and what kind of players they are? Obviously, you have Nick, who's returning. You have Trades, who you can flex a little bit. You have Wilson from Florida coming in, who can be kind of that scat, who can do some of these things, and who has been a productive player in this league. But can you talk about some of these other guys who are also coming in as well?
Yeah, I talked with someone around the building today just to kind of get a feel of what they feel like they've gained there, because it's up to 14 receivers they have now in this room. It's a crowded room, but it's so diverse. And the thing was told was they can just hit on pop plays, and they feel like that's going to be the biggest thing. So they can hit on those explosive plays. A couple of the guys you mentioned, they can be outside threats. They can spread the field. And I think I've hinted at this last week, but really since we've seen the number of guys that total grow is – I just think the spacing is going to be so much better. Like, you just have guys that can, they can run, the fade, they can run the deep post, they can run a lot of different things, and they can space things out underneath. To your point, LSU just had too many of the same player. Nick Anderson wasn't who you thought he was going to be. Chris Hilton never materialized. So you just didn't have the spacing that you wanted on the outside, for those 15 to 20-yard passes. So it was a lot of underneath routes that you had to scheme open. And, that's fine. LSU had the athletes to go do that, but not in as congested of an area that it really ended up being for those route combinations to work with. So I think this year, like a couple of the names you mentioned, like, Eugene Wilson III, like, I just go back to, and maybe I'm thinking about the wrong guy because they've had some serious talent at the wide receiver spot at Florida the past 2 years. But 2 years ago, DJ Lagway throws a beautiful ball, beats LSU's safeties over the top for a touch, and I believe it was Eugene Wilson who had a great catch. And you just see the speed, and it's just effortless. I think that's another thing about this group is their speed, their talent. It doesn't look like they're running that hard. Right. And I think that's something they just kind of glide past defenders. And even, the kid they picked up today from Troy who might win, be on an all-team or all-name team with what they had Mothershed, he's 6'5", 210. Like, that's a receiver you just don't go find there. And so kind of the last point of that is it's not just finding the big-name guys. They've done that. Eugene Wilson, Jace Brown. But they found guys that I feel like have one standout factor, whether it's a size, whether it's, hey, this guy's really good at route running, or this is a guy that we know we can trust to go throw the ball. He can get, a possession guy. And I feel like they just said, hey, we're going to throw all this out here. You may have one elite trait. We're going to find a way to use it. And that's a calling card, right? I mean, my coworker Matthew Bruni says this a lot. It feels like wide receiver is the least important position in a Lane Kiffin offense because of how well they scheme things and they utilize it. You don't have to have, and LSU fans would love to see this, the 2019 group or, early 2010s group. You don't necessarily have to have that because of what they do. So it's a lot of different skill sets. I think it's going to open a lot of things up, and they're going to have some speed, which that's probably the nightmares of LSU fans, remembering how much speed they had going into 2025.
Well, you talk about spreading the field, and you talk about having, last year they did a lot of underneath stuff. I think part of that was scheme. I think the other part of that was they didn't have the offensive line up front to be able to say, hey, you can drop back, and we're going to allow this stuff to develop and be able to space the field out. And so that would be the next part of this, right? You have all the receivers. You have the running backs that came back. You have Harlan Berry. Obviously, Caden Durham announced he's coming back. You signed 2 more guys, so now you filled out the running back room. And in order to get the offense to get back to what we expect it to be, you have to have some protection up front, whether it's you have to have the offensive line be able to open holes for the running game and be able to protect the quarterback and allow these receivers to get down the field. They're starting to build that offensive line room. It feels like Ole Miss and LSU are just flip-flopping a lot of players. They get Carius Curran. It feels like we're about to they have a freshman that just put their name in the portal. Seems like he's coming this way. What are you hearing in the offensive line room, and who's going to be the next domino to kind of fall for LSU?
Well, I think the first big domino is probably getting Braylon Moore to re-sign and come back because it does solidify some things, especially in the middle of that offensive line. Look, for all the troubles they had last year, I didn't feel like Braylon Moore was a big cause of that. I thought he was a veteran presence. He gets hurt in that Louisiana Tech game and was never really the same. Like, played hurt with a high ankle sprain the whole year. That's not fun to play with, especially in the offensive line. So bringing him back, it allows you, and I mean, I can't even remember all the names of the kids, but the kid they brought in from Tennessee, he doesn't have to start immediately. He was a center, so he can be that backup center that you really needed on this roster and you didn't have, even with the group last year, really. And then, the kid they brought in today from Kentucky, a lot of high upside there. profiles as like a mauler, like you can just put his hand in the dirt and he can go run somebody over. They need that with the run game they want. And then, not to talk too much about, I guess, guys that are in, but now that they're in, Devin Harper's a name that I think that they're really going to go after. A longtime LSU commit, flipped late to Ole Miss last cycle, enters the portal today after re-signing with Ole Miss. So it's one of those things that LSU fans have had fun with on social media. But, yeah, I just think it's a scenario where you're going to let these guys battle out in spring and fall, set your 5, and let's roll. And then you have guys that you can develop, and it's not the end of your road here at LSU because, to me, guys, it was always going to be difficult to go buy 5 or 6 starters in the portal. Like, one, because starters on the offensive line and the trenches on both sides, they're not hitting the portal at that high of a rate because they're being re-signed because they're so valuable to the team. So it's hard to get guys to jump in the portal that are elite at their craft of the offensive line position. So you've got to have a lot of traits. You've got to have a lot of projectability. And, maybe does it hamper the expectations of LSU in this offense in 2025 or 2026? It might, but I think it's also exciting because, look, the limited amount of time we get to watch in spring ball and then obviously in the fall, that's going to be a hot topic conversation. Yeah, we'll talk about Sam Leavitt. We'll talk about some of these other players. That offensive line, everyone's going to want to know and pay attention to what starting 5 is out there today. Is there a different one the next day? Because it's a lot of interchangeable pieces, and I think they'll continue to add to that. A guy that I'm intrigued by, I will say this, Jacoby Jones, JUCO kid, committed. He was a guy that I was familiar with, was at Georgia Tech last year, left in the spring, decided to go back to JUCO ball, leaves, and I think he was like the number 2 offensive lineman in JUCO. So big, you can't teach size, and physical. So we'll see what happens. I think they've got some intriguing options, and we just won't know anything until we get to the spring portion and really fall camp.
Jared.
6'5", 250, 5-star prospect coming out of high school. I'm talking about edge rusher Jordan Ross. Is the addition of him to a Blake Baker defense going to be kind of one of those things that really puts this defense over the top? We talked about it a good bit last year where the defense was good. Defense is better. That continued to improve, but you still didn't have the closer on that side. You didn't have the guy that was going to go close and finish out games on that side. Could he be the piece of that defensive line that puts you in that spot where now you have a closer and you're able to kind of scheme up things around that?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's also a big reason, I know Mikie hinted at it, that I don't believe Damon Wilson will be an LSU Tiger because I think that they really believe in Jordan Ross. This is a guy, too, they may have played a little bit of different positions, but they're a little bit interchangeable in Tim Banks' defense up there in Knoxville. There's a reason he just got on the field last year because they had a first-round pick in James Pierce Jr. playing that Leo spot for Tennessee the previous year. So what he did in his limited snaps, when you go look at it, like, the biggest thing I have been a proponent of at the edge or defensive end position is can you win a one-on-one battle? LSU hasn't had a lot of that consistently over the past 3 to 4 years. Gabe Relaford gets healthy. He's on one side, Jordan Ross on the other, and now you're starting to see a situation of where, hey, maybe we slide Lamar Brown out there at times. Maybe we can put Deuce Gerald's in a 3-tech. Maybe we can do some different things with the young guys that we have. Could they still go add like a stopgap veteran of the room? Yeah, they definitely could. But I think your high-impact players at that position are Jordan Ross because that size you mentioned, you can't teach. He's very violent. I was told one thing they like about him is his hand placement. Like he just understands how to, I mean, look, when you talk about rushing the passer, like you can't let that tackle essentially get inside leverage on you. If you do, it's over. You can't do anything about it. He's been really good at that, and they've seen it consistent. So there's a little bit of production. They're hoping this year is where he becomes, one of those breakout candidates. Him and Relaford, those are 2 true pass rushers, something they really didn't have last year, especially after Relaford went down.
And it gives the opportunity for these young guys. You mentioned it. You have they talked about the high school recruiting class and how it's the best defensive line recruiting class they've had since maybe 2003. And now you don't force those guys into early playing time, maybe too early. Now if they go in spring ball and they're like, hey, they're obviously the best guy, they're obviously going to play. But you have depth now. You have 4 guys that are freshmen that are young, and you bring in all these veteran guys. That's got to help. Blake Baker's got to be super ecstatic about that, and it's got to help, obviously, the depth of the defense, and it's got to help the defense be able to stay fresh longer.
The Jordan Ross thing, it also excites me, too, because of he's got a high school basketball background, man, and it's like I think about what Trey has, and obviously Trey has came to college to play both. So I'm not going to sit here and say that they're exactly in the same spot, but having that background at that size gets me to think that you got a big man who can play and do things that little men do, right? And once you have guys that are that big and they can move that way, it helps you out a lot more. And when you have guys on the back end that are little dudes that are not afraid to hit, so they play like big men, when you mesh those things together, then you start looking at a defense that could really be scary.
Yeah, and the thing about Ross that you just hit on too, and it's a trait that scouts and coaches will talk about, is what is his bend like? And when you talk about a guy that played basketball, you know that he's not going to be stiff in the hips. Like, he's not going to be a stiff upright guy that doesn't understand leverage. He's powerful, but he understands how to use leverage. And I mean, that combination is what you see out of all the elite pass rushers, right? Can you have great bend to get around that tackle, but also enough power where you're that combination between a speed and power rusher? And I think Ross fits that bill. So I'm excited about his addition. I think it's much needed, and like I said earlier, I think it takes them out of the Damon Wilson sweepstakes altogether. I think they're still in it, but maybe not that pole position, because they really like what they have there. And look, you'd go take a Damon Wilson because he's been highly productive, especially this year at Missouri. But it's just one of those things where Jordan Ross has a lot of upside, and I like the idea of getting him under Kevin Peoples, because I think Kevin Peoples is a heck of a coach too, and understanding how to play the position and utilize that athleticism to be able to get results on the back end.
We have a couple of questions from the chat, one of which I will ask you now from Alphonse Fairley. Ask Bryce, what does LSU have for the offensive line lined up from the portal, and who are they going after, if you know any names at all? That seems like to be the next domino to fall.
I'd say Devin Harper is going to be one they check in on. I mean, the kid from Kentucky was really high on the list. They wanted him, and obviously with Wolford's background being at Kentucky, being a guy that recruited him up there to Lexington, it makes a lot of sense. So, how much more do you really add? You got your starting center. Weston Davis is back. He's got to compete for a spot in my mind. Outside of that, I'd like to go see them get maybe another true guard. Who's a guy that can really go play that spot? Because I think you got some options out there at tackle. I think you said this last week, Mikey. Weston Davis has too many traits to be as bad as he was.
Right.
So what does he look like when you get to the fall and he's actually had some true coaching up? So, one of those things where they haven't spent at an elite rate in the portal, maybe getting those, established bookends or those established players at offensive line. But I think maybe another true guard is something they could go look at kind of going forward.
And when you look at what LSU is also at in the portal, I feel like Caden Durham has kind of gone under the radar a little bit. Obviously, he enters the portal, and then you see the back and forth between LSU and Ole Miss. You see JT Lindsey go to Ole Miss, and then that was the first kind of blimp on my radar of like, maybe there is a conversation of Caden Durham coming back to LSU. They added 2 more portal pieces at the running back, but do you think that they're done in that room with running it back with Caden Durham, Harlan Berry, and the other 2 additional pieces that didn't seem to be the splash LSU was looking for, but now that you have the same running back room coming back, you feel somewhat solidified in that room?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, you didn't add a high school guy, right? So the kid you brought in from Utah who was recruited to Ole Miss last cycle, he also reclassified. He really is a true freshman this year.
Yep.
He reclassed and didn't really play. So that's your true freshman out of that cycle. Rod Gainey that you brought from Charlotte is going to be kind of that third back option. And then you bring in your 2 heavy hitters, your 1A, 1B. And I highlighted this in a piece over at the Bengal Tiger. I said, look, that's how you have to build this room. If Durham wants to come back, there's your kind of your thunder and lightning, your 1A, 1B with him and Harlan Berry. You get your third option, and then you've got a 4th back to where it really solidifies, I think, a room that could be, really good now and has some developmental pieces. And then you go hard after that 2027 class, which we've already seen them recruit and offer some kids, some of the best backs in the country. So it shores up a room that we've learned, if you're around the LSU beat or you're an LSU fan, you can never have enough running backs. I believe, 3 years ago or 2 years ago, you had 8 on the roster.
Yeah.
Was it Amontre Bradford that had I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, Bradford.
Carvantre
Trey
Bradford.
Trey Bradford, yeah.
Trey Bradford that you had. I mean, you just had to get guys anywhere. And then obviously John Emery a year ago as well.
Yeah.
So you need depth there, right? And so I think this room is pretty solidified, especially with getting Caden Durham to come back. And it just gives you that 1-2 punch that I think fully healthy behind an offensive line and a scheme that works. That could be one of the best, 1-2 tandems in the country. And it's something that I think when Frank Wilson was here believed, and Brian Kelly as well, and Joe Sloan, that was the potential of that group, and hopefully they can realize it under this new staff.
Jared, you got another one?
Yeah, I want to kind of go back to the quarterback a little bit with the Sam Leavitt news. Assuming that this gets across the finish line and becomes official, with where he was with the injury in the foot or ankle or whatever it was, obviously he's coming into learning and knowing a new system. Is he supposed to be healthy enough to be active and playing and doing things in spring ball? Or is that something they're going to have to wait until the summer or fall camp to get him ready for the season? And what is that kind of something that was kind of thought about or talked about or kind of maybe even a deterrent in getting him to this point where he's at right now, where there's at least a soft commitment?
Well, and maybe a deterrent in the amount of money you wanted to pay him as well, because you really didn't know how much you would be able to do, I guess, in a spring setting. The best answer I've been able to get on this is they think he's going to be able to participate in the limited capacity in the spring. And it seems like that's positive news from where it was maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. So, I don't really know how this works at the college level because there's no collective bargaining agreement. There's no players union. But he has undergone physicals, essentially. And I don't know if that's a mandate. I have no idea. And, from what I understand at the NFL level, that's something anytime you bring in a free agent, he's got to pass the physical, right? In college, I don't know because there's no real rules with anything if that's true. But from what I understand, he's been able to do that. And
Which is crazy to think about it.
It is nuts. I mean, think about the amount of money that you're committing to a kid and you really don't know the medical history. I guess you don't have to know the medical history of these players. So that being said, it seems like it's optimistic they could get him in some limited capacity in the spring. She's making dinner right now. She's a champ. I'd have to go ask my physical therapist's wife what she thinks on this because she'd have a little more in-depth knowledge. But she doesn't love being in front of the camera.
Yeah, bring her on the show. Bring her on the show.
There you go. Yeah, she won't like it. No, she'll aggressively say no.
When it's all said and done, last year LSU spent $18-20 million on their roster. When it's all said and done, what's the roster construction going to look like this year? What's going to cost LSU?
Ooh. If the rumors of Texas pushing 40 is correct, they paid some money on Cam Coleman.
That's kind of a scary combination, though.
Dude, they're loaded.
Yeah.
Look, they're going to be a fun team to play with in EA next year. Hollywood Smothers and Cam Coleman and Arch Manning, who I think is going to he'll take a step next year. Will he be next coming to Jesus Christ? Probably no. But 30?
Yeah.
You want to put it at 30?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I think we initially said between 25 and 30, maybe 35 if you needed to get there, but I'd say 30 because I think you're paying Jordan Ross a hefty amount. That's also accounting for what you had to re-sign these guys. Florida made a real push for Trey'Dez Green. That's real. So
who did? Florida?
Oregon did.
Oh, Oregon.
Oregon made a real push for Trey'Dez Green. You had to go pay to keep him, and so when you're in a bidding war, and maybe he gave him a hometown discount a little bit. I don't even want to know. Imagine being Trey'Dez's agent, and I don't know who it is, and you get that phone call from Eugene. You know he's LSU.
Is Trey'Dez's number elevated from what is the supposed going rate range for tight ends right now?
Yes. Yeah. But just because of his unicorn-like status, I would say. Because once again, something to do in the NFL because you can kind of quantify these things. You can't in college because so much is just all over the place. I think he's going to be one of those guys, even when he gets to the NFL, where he kind of breaks the traditional, value system, right? Because you don't really know.
As long as he doesn't do what Jimmy Graham did. Didn't work out for them.
Well, I was not a fan of Jimmy Graham, as you can probably guess. But as long as he doesn't do what Kyle Pitts is doing currently in the NFL, I'm good with that. No, he's going to break that mold. He's already breaking it, I would say, in the college level in terms of how you value that position because he's truly a positionless player. You can just put him wherever, and he's a matchup nightmare.
When does this stop? If we're saying 30 to 35 to $40 million, what is that just it's only going to escalate more, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into the whole the one thing I don't cover in this sport is the politics of it all. I'll keep tabs on the bills that are going to Congress and all this kind of stuff. My knowledge of how things work in the government stops at Schoolhouse Rock, the old TV show. So I don't really know much beyond that. That being said, when you get to a point, you're eventually going to get to a breaking point, I think, of where you're hey, these people should probably be employees. But then becomes the benefits aspect of it, and what I believe athletic directors and presidents don't really want is for players to see the true value they know what it is, but to see what they could get, the true value of these media deals. That is important. I think that's the next domino, is where you're going to see your top 10 players in college football be like, so why? I'm responsible for that, because they're not watching. And this is going to be a lot of pushback. It's going to make a lot of fans mad. They're not watching anymore for the logos. They're watching because of the players and the branding of it. So why don't I get a cut of that? And that's going to be an ugly, ugly conversation. Not that I'm necessarily against that thought, but I think that's probably going to be your breaking point, because until then, I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to get to someone's paying $10 million for 1 year. Well, you're going to get to private equity, which nobody wants.
Right.
I don't know. I think that to me is going to be the next domino of where someone's got to decide these guys are going to be employees, and we just not lease, but we just allow them to use the likeness of the university. Like LSU football is its own entity, and they utilize the colors and the traditions and the stadium, but they're not really affiliated with the university. Like, I don't want to go down that road, but I don't know where. I really don't know where this thing stops.
I'm not smart enough to do that, and we don't have enough time, I feel like, to solve that problem. You're just gonna. There's gonna have to figure out a way to have some structure behind it.
I think
some
they're
limitations.
Very much comfortable with how it is right now, where it looks like a mess, but they don't care. It's better than them having.
Who's they? Who's they?
We're talking about like ADs and presidents.
Yeah.
Oh, if they wanted to end this, they could end this.
But they don't want you to see behind the curtain.
Complains about this, knows exactly what needs to happen. In my opinion, they just don't want to do it because it takes more money out of their hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that's what happens with this.
That's where it's at. They're not comfortable with what goes on, but if they do what needs to be done, it's less money that's going back into their pocket, and it becomes a media buzz that they don't really want. Like,
exactly.
There's a lot that's going on right now, but once these players really start earning and understanding what they can earn, and the buzz about them not getting what they should be earning, and all of that coming out of their pocket, that's even more of a mess than they want right now.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, it's wild how expensive these rosters are getting.
They don't love what's going on, but I guess, if you will, it's the lesser of the two evils, which is wild to think about.
Yeah. No doubt.
Oh, if it really was that's what I'm saying. Like, if they really wanted to fix it, they don't really want to fix it because of the repercussions on themselves.
Yeah.
That would cause that. So, it's you want to be commissioner, Lloyd? Is that what you're saying?
I would do exactly what they're doing. Like, y'all don't look at my pocketbook. Like, it's all good. Y'all figure it out, and I'll be over here.
On the players. Yeah, keep doing that.
And because it will happen whenever Tyler Shuck's making what is a 4-year deal for $10 million? Huh.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Well, I mean,
in
you
college.
guys saw so I don't know if you've seen this. Justice Haynes, right, running back out of Michigan,
enters
the portal, was a successful back. We've had 10 touchdowns, 800 rushing yards. Would have returned, for his last season as one of the more established running backs in the country. Hits the portal, and it's rumored. The reason I know this because their helmet's behind me. That there's a team in Atlanta that's trying to get him to come back home. Wants to maybe offer him $2.5 million for a year.
Yeah, as a running back.
You know how much Bijan Robinson makes?
How much?
It's like 2.7.
Yeah.
What you just said is nearly happening. And really, I mean, Brennan Sorsby's going to make more than Tyler Shuck this year.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
I mean, we talked about it last year with Underwood. Underwood's deal that he signed with Michigan is equivalent to the 31st overall pick in the draft, and he was a senior in high school.
The part about it is, too, is not only is he going to make more than him this year, when the year is over and it's all said and done, and you even factor in the 17 games to the 12 to 13, maybe 15 games that Texas Tech is hoping and wishing and wanting to play next year, just for those numbers as well, I would guarantee you the viewership and everything that happens around the Saints is still going to be more than what happens for Texas Tech. So not only are you in a level up, making less, but you also have more stats in terms of the viewership and what you draw in that's happening on your side of it, and the guy at the lesser level who's drawing less is making more money than you. Like, it makes zero sense right now.
Well, and I think you did say this, and the game check's going to be more. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like, you're only playing, let's just say you don't make the playoff. I mean, let's just say you're Bryce Underwood this year. You played,
12 games? 12 games. Or 13, yeah.
Okay. Well, Tyler Shuck played in how many? 16, 17?
Yeah, well, yeah, on the
that
team.
That game check's going to hit different, you know, on whatever day it goes in. I don't know. It's
but the thing about it is they don't pay him. They don't pay him per check. They don't pay him per game. They give him a big lump sum. No, I know what you mean.
Example.
Yeah. Like if you just go and
they're
take
paying
it.
them lump sums, Mikey. McDonald's bags.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Last question about the portal, and then we'll move on from that. We said LSU is going to sign 25 or so. Obviously, it seems like that number is going to be higher. There's 4 days left in the portal. How many more additions do you think they're going to add, and what's the total number going to be?
What are we at? 26, 27?
I don't know the exact number, but I think around that. I know we already surpassed the 25 mark, right?
Give me 33.
33. Good
That would
number.
give them, let's just say that give them 6 or 7 more.
Oh, nice.
By the way.
6 or 7 more in 4 days. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I still think you're going to go get a third quarterback.
Yeah.
So
I mean, where do you go there? Like, who's going to come in and be the third quarterback?
I've had 2 schools of thought on this. I think about what Kiffin did a couple of years ago, and the young kid from Elon is not the same because he's played, but he's the young guy that you want to be developed. When he brought in Walker Howard, and then he brought in a guy like Spencer Sanders, is there a veteran on the market that says, "Hey, I'm cool, but with not playing," which that would be a weird concept. Give me, pay me nice. I get to experience Death Valley for a year, and I'll take some snaps if I need to. If I'm Lane Kiffin and Charlie West Jr., I'm probably going to look for that because I'm kind of like, hey, we need a guy that's taken a significant snap. And it's not that this kid from Elon hasn't. He's taken, some snaps. He's never taken a snap on the road, against Texas A&M.
Right.
He doesn't know what that's like. So that insurance, I think, would be interesting if you can find that. If not, you've got to go find a kid that maybe is going to be a redshirt freshman that essentially is your 2025 signee. So that would act as that. Because you've got to bridge the gap, right? You've brought in your QB1. You've brought in your young, high upside developmental guy. That third quarterback spot to me is going to either be the true redshirt freshman or whatever, how you want to look at it, or just a veteran guy like, really truthfully, like 2 years ago, like they brought in A.J. Swan. Like someone that's just like, I'm cool. I just want to, I just want to I want to say hang out because the kids are competing, but really Spencer Sanders, who left a starting job, which is one of the craziest pitches I've ever seen at Oklahoma State, to come just sit. And I think he played in like 2 games, maybe took less than 15, 20 snaps.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, that was a wild situation. And honestly, everybody thought Jackson Dart was gone. Then Walker transferred there. He thought he was going to be the starter, and then they bring in Spencer Sanders, and then Jackson Dart comes back. And so, yeah, crazy times. Football season. College football season's over. Obviously, the post-college season is kind of wild. But the season that I think everybody in this room or on camera is anticipating is baseball season. Mm-hmm. First practice starts today. And LSU's obviously stacked again, supposed to make another run. Have you mentally almost gotten there yet? I know you still got a lot of work to do over this next week, but are you, first pitch banquet's this week? So that's kind of the unofficial start of baseball season. Have you kind of started mentally moving that way?
I'm going to be honest with you, no. The portal's such a demanding thing, and so how our site works is, we've got my coworker Matthew Bruni, he's basketball. So it's really like he's helping with football and everything, but it's really myself and Shay Dixon that have been kind of like the portal and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you've taken a look at it, right? I mean, I would be honest with you, the last time I sat down and really started to map out some baseball content was probably Jay's end of fall ball presser in that week. And then obviously we know that, right after that, it was coaching search, Kiffin, straight into the portal, straight into who's Frank Wilson situation, all this kind of stuff. But no, I'm excited. I will say this, just to talk with some people, and you guys would know maybe even better than me at this point. Some people think this might be Jay's most talented team, top to bottom.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's kind of scary to think about. I think that there's an opportunity. Well, the outfield's going to just be. They're going to be so much fun to watch. Yeah. I'm intrigued at the second base battle. I'm intrigued about what Caraway brings to the table. I think for Caraway is an interesting Trent Caraway, Oregon State transfer for people who just maybe don't know who I'm talking about. He's going to be a guy that I watch this winter, spring scrimmages because to me, the potential is there. We know what he was draft-wise, what he could have been. I think he came to LSU. This is just nothing but a gut feeling. He came to LSU because this is I really want to know how good I am.
Yeah.
I really want to know. And I think that they pushed him in fall camp. There were some things that maybe surprised him, even himself, about, not a lack of dedication or anything like that, about his own game. And I think being at a place like LSU for a really good ball player like Trent Caraway could push you to a space that maybe he's never even been before, and he didn't know he had.
Yeah.
So I think he has a chance to be really, really fun to watch. And then, one of my favorites of the course of last year was just a guy like Tanner Reeves. Kind of like he's a Swiss Army knife. Does the defense continue to develop? He had some big hits for you. Where does that, how does that back continue to develop? And just a gamer. Like any kid, and you guys know this, what do they call them, JUCO bandits? Like any kid that comes from that, you know that they've got the mental fortitude to compete. It's about the physical tools and understanding how much does that keep developing. And you don't even touch on the pitching, but
no, it's gonna be exciting.
Throw a dart, and who do you want to see? I mean, that's how I feel about that. So I'm excited about it. Are you guys going to be there Thursday? I know you've got some potential altering things going on.
If the wife stays on schedule,
suck it up, hold it in.
If the wife stays on schedule, I will probably.
That is a wild statement.
Yeah, just ignore him. If she stays on schedule, I'll be there on Thursday. Obviously, if that's not the case, I will not be there. I'm planning on being there. I believe my company has bought a table, so I will have obviously a seat. But yeah, I'm planning on being. Are you going to be there?
Yeah, plans to be there.
Are you covering baseball for On3?
Yeah, that'll be. So yeah, that's how we divvied it up. So I'll be
good. Darn the bad luck.
Rocking around with baseball.
Jumping on the show. Still talking baseball every week. Unless you're sick of us. Unless you're sick of us.
No, I mean Lloyd is okay, but
that's right.
Jared, when's the due date?
The due date is the 25th, but Coach, we are inducing tomorrow, so
so this is happening.
Oh yeah,
this is happening. What are the vibes? What are the feelings?
At the first pitch banquet, but that is definitely a no-go at this point.
Yeah. What are the feelings? Like, what are the raw emotions? Has it hit you that this is really happening?
I don't think so. I'm like one of them dudes that it just doesn't really hit until it's like here.
Yeah.
So it's like, and obviously this is my first, so it's not a. I know what's going to be. Like I know what's going to happen. I know what's going on. It's kind of all right. You telling me it's here? Let's get to there.
You don't even know what to think about or expect, really. Which is honestly, knowing what I know now, that's a much better way to go. That's a much better way to play the game. Because
I feel like I'm in the same boat. Obviously, like I've been good the whole time, and then once they schedule, like once we said, okay, we're gonna schedule it for Monday, I was like. I was like, oh shit! Okay.
Moved up the test.
This is gotta get ready, and so.
Yeah, like there's been a couple times I've like late at night I've like walked into the the room we've made his and I'm like, whoa, holy shit, this is about to be another year. But other than that, I'm just kind of like, bro, I don't know. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready for a challenge. I'm ready for everything that's gonna be, and I know it's gonna be awesome. I just have no clue what I'm getting into.
Correct.
So here we go.
I think that's the best way to go about it. Just gotta figure it out.
Oh, and then you'll realize, and God love them. We all love our parents, but you'll realize nobody knows what they're doing.
Nobody.
So
nobody.
It's okay. And then maybe you can get your kids into betting odds and picks like I have mine. And,
that's
monetize their videos. That's
I like that.
It can't be worse than Mikie is. It can't be worse than we were
they're
this year.
They're definitely better than we were this year. I can promise you that.
Ofer.
Yeah, we did not win.
Pick worse than what we did this year.
Yeah, we did not win a parlay all year.
She picks a game every week. She went 8-4. So in her 2 years of life, she is 16-8, back to back 8-4 seasons.
Wow,
2 strong seasons. That's beginner's luck. They give it away a little bit. So
So.
It's different when she's actually betting herself. I mean, it's easy to make bets when you don't have any money on the line. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No pressure, right?
Yeah,
just picking a helmet out of dad's hand.
Just teaching her early. It's fine.
That's awesome.
All right, dude. Well, we appreciate you. We'll have you on next Monday potentially if we have a show because we may be 2 dads, but I'll keep you updated. Hopefully, by that time the transfer portal will be done. And we'll have the
that's what you're calling childbirth now?
Closes Friday, baby.
Yep, we'll have the next year's roster to talk about, and then we can really shift our focus over to baseball and have a lot of fun. Because people don't think we know shit about football in here. They just think we know baseball, which is not true. But
bunch of meatheads.
Yeah,
you don't know anything.
Speaking
what
of,
do you think about Bregman and the Cubs? I gotta ask that.
I think it's great for Breggy. I think that's a good place for him to be. Obviously, Chicago. It feels like Chicago is the first. This is your team. It feels like it's the first offseason Chicago is really trying to win a World Series.
They're spending.
Yeah, it feels like it's the first time they're actually trying to go for it in like since the last time they were in there. Also feels like the Red Sox kind of dropped the ball on that deal.
What is Boston doing?
What do you
You let
mean,
Devers?
You kicked out Devers for what obviously seemed like you were keeping Bregman, and you couldn't even get that across the line to keep him. So you've left. You pushed out 2 perennial all-stars basically and didn't get them across. What are you doing?
And not only did you push out Devers, you traded Devers because Devers did not want to play first base, and he gets traded to San Francisco and says, "Oh yeah, I'll play first, no problem."
Oh God.
Yeah. So from what I read, if it was Boston was not gonna give Bregman a full no trade clause because of organizational policy, which just
But
sounds
they have
stupid.
given no trade clause too. Let's just go ahead and throw that caveat in there as well.
Full
So
no
it's not
trade
like
clause.
they haven't
Yeah,
done it.
that's
It's
just
not like they haven't done it in like recent history over the past 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Hell, they just did it recent. The most recent one I think was Chris Sale.
yeah. So they definitely dropped the ball.
Yeah,
Babe Ruth.
crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Babe, Jesus.
Yeah.
You're a Cubs fan, Lloyd?
Yes, sir. Oh, and
It's a
you're
great place. Wrigley's awesome.
Wrigley
is.
is great. Wrigley is great.
It does. It
Well,
does.
he became a Cubs fan in 2016. So
No, sir. 1997.
Can you tell me one player before 2016?
Mark Grace, Rod Beck.
Ramos Ramirez and Derek Lee.
That's right.
Alfonso Soriano.
That doesn't count.
I used to imitate Alfonso Soriano in the back.
What? Swing at everything?
Swinging everything.
The biggest baseball bat in the
Dudes had to
world.
rip the tree out of the yard because you swing back. That's how biggest bat was.
Just free swing with a wiffle bat. Yeah.
Hey, if he connected
Oh
though,
my gosh.
he was a 40-40
Awesome
guy that
stuff.
stopped stealing bases.
That's it. That's what happens when you get on steroids.
That's right. He did, and he could not field for shit.
No.
But if he connected, just throw him a slider low and away 3 times in a row, and he will
Can't hit
swing
it.
at all 3 of them. And
Just
miss
don't leave
all
it up.
3. Don't leave it up.
Yep.
But Bryce, before you go, any parental advice to the 2 young bucks that are about to be dads? Since how old are you? 31? 30?
How old am I?
25?
I just turned 28.
Oh, you got in there early. Jesus.
Jesus, Lord.
Well, I don't know. I thought he was trying to be a responsible parent, but I mean,
You're going to look back at how you worded that and really not like it. But
Some respect here, kid. Good God.
no, I would say the biggest thing is
Were y'all married before?
You realize
Yes.
that your wives are unbelievable people. Like
Yeah.
it is crazy. I view my wife in a completely different light. I'm like, that's insane. Like Jared, what you said is totally true. How I felt. I didn't know what to expect, and then the adrenaline kicks in, and you're like, what? How is this humanly possible? It's crazy. It's a true miracle, and I'd say the biggest advice is just stay out of the way, but be ready.
Yeah.
That would be the biggest thing. Like, yeah, stay out of the way, but also, like, don't be in their way because they know what's best, and that motherly instinct's going to kick in. But that's awesome. Pumped for you guys. Obviously, prayers.
Appreciate
everything
it.
goes
We in the
smooth.
Metro household, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all got a big one. Like, Jared, is it, like, have you thought about I mean, I just asked you this, but, like, you said y'all inducing tomorrow morning?
No, we're gonna get a call sometime during the day. We got to be at the hospital within 2 hours. So
Sometime during the, what's the plan up until then? Just, like, chill around, eat some
he's
snacks?
going to play
and just look at the
NCAA
clock?
football in the hospital.
Don't bring
Yeah.
video games. Don't do that.
It's literally just sit there and just chill and wait. I mean,
That's crazy.
That's where
Yeah,
we're at.
no, I mean, like, you're literally in let's just say 72 hours gives a window. 72 hours, like, you're going to have a kid.
Yeah.
You're going to be a dad. Like, that's
Crazy.
cool. Greatest thing you'll ever do. Greater
Yep.
than any job, I mean,
Do you see, look at the wall behind him.
Yeah. Crazy.
No, this won't matter.
We're
Yeah, no.
This is this will let y'all know. This is only up here now, just so that little guy at one point would be like, "Who is that?"
yeah, right.
Me. So I want to let him know at some point. That's the only reason why this stuff's up.
So
Correct.
you're having a boy. You're having a boy, obviously.
Yep.
Mikey, do y'all know? Are
Yeah,
y'all
we're
knowing right
we're
now?
having a boy as well.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't speak to that, but God bless you. I've heard stories, but we had a girl first, so
Yeah.
Hey, the jealousy in that one right there was incredible.
no, I love my kids.
No,
She's
listen,
awesome.
every-
she's already knocked on the door
I know
twice,
you
saying,
do.
"Wait until they."
That's what I can't wait till they start saying daddy and then
dad, yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So it
Awesome.
is what it is.
Well, dude, go be
Question,
be
Lloyd?
Ofer,
No.
I believe. I hope. I mean, I wouldn't tell me either if it happened.
on that note, Bryce.
We got commercial breaks.
on that note,
get some advertisements on this show.
Yeah,
Pronto,
go be with your family.
Class of 2040.
We'll have you on next week, and we'll talk. All LSU stuff again. So
Awesome.
appreciate you,
Best
dude.
of luck to you guys.
Yep,
Prayers
thank
for
you.
y'all as
Appreciate
well,
it.
Jared. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Babysitter.
Definitely not. Lloyd will not be babysitting. I let Lloyd dog sit, and that's the extent.
Yep.
That was the extent of what your responsibilities are going to do.
Thank you. He only had one whiskey, Kobe. See if he liked
That's
it or
it.
not.
And did he like it?
Yep.
Okay.
It's time to go to bed.
Good news from Bryce that he feels like the Levitt thing is done. So it feels like Tennessee is just
everything that we're seeing online as well, y'all were talking about, I was continuing to do some digging, and that is the case. It feels like that this LSU has got this across the finish line, not officially official, but very close to being officially official.
good news. That's great news for LSU. Obviously, good news for him to be able to be ready to play a little bit during the spring. Obviously, there's no spring game. That's not the importance is not playing in the game. The importance is practicing and being around the guys, understanding the system, being able to throw to your receivers. So to have him do that, at least limited, is nice. And then I'm excited to see what the other guys got because I really do think that Lane likes him a lot. What's his name from Elon? Landon Clark. Landon Clark.
Yes.
I think he really likes him. So it's
Landon
gonna be
with an E.
Landon with an E. It's going to be exciting to watch them. I won't say battle it out, but compete, right? And just be,
You had to promise.
You have two quarterbacks that you feel comfortable putting in there. One obviously is the guy, but you also feel like if something were to happen to that guy, the guy behind him is capable of doing it. I don't think you felt like that this year. Obviously, you saw that. Now, paying a guy $5 million, he's starting. There's no competition. You know what I mean?
I think that conversation probably the second time was very interesting, considering how that whole situation played out.
Let me ask you this: do you think that it was? Hey, we didn't. That wasn't us.
That was them.
They're talking about. They put everybody's putting LSU in it because they just don't like LSU right now. But we weren't. We weren't doing that.
Yeah.
We knew that he wasn't
fake
coming.
news.
We knew that. Yeah, look, there's connections in the past.
You're our guy.
We were never. There's other schools that were courting him. It wasn't. We weren't the reason. We wanted you. You think that was a conversation, or do you think they're like, yeah, you're the guy. Second guy.
Look, we had a past history. We took a swing. I'm sorry. Now it was $4 million. Now it's $6 million. Does that make you feel better?
So the question is, or I guess the question I got was you get Levitt on campus, he goes through his visit, and then all of this stuff kind of went down? Did it go down as soon as he left there going to his other visit?
So the news broke when he was on the visit, right? Mm-hmm. The news broke that Damon Williams wanted to put his name in the portal, and instantly media came out and said LSU seems to be the place that he's going to go because of the ties. Now, I'm not saying that LSU wasn't into it, right? But it happened when he was on the visit. It was like the last day of the visit. That's why they said the visit didn't end well. And look, if I was him, I'd feel like, what the fuck? What's going on? But at the end of the day, there was nothing where Lane Kiffin came out or anybody close to LSU came out and was like, oh, yeah, they're the only team in them, and it's LSU as a reason, which I think they probably were part of it. But there's no, hey, prove it.
I would imagine so. Just in the thought process of if you don't feel like you're getting a commitment from whoever is on campus at the time by the time that they leave, you're also wasting hours by waiting until they leave to start trying to find the next in that spot. If that makes any sense.
Correct.
So it's I would imagine if you're smart about it, obviously you want the person that you have here that's on a visit to commit. But if you're coming down to that 11th and 12th hour of that visit and you still haven't had it, and I don't know what kind of conversations have happened, I don't know what kind of hints you may have dropped and or that he may have dropped, but I would imagine if you're not getting what you want at that time through the conversations that's happened, if you're just going to sit there and stay off the phone and stay off of communication until he leaves, you're probably losing opportunities to go find that next.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that maybe they had reached out. And honestly, if I get both sides of it. I get if you're Sam Leavitt and you're on the visit and that stuff comes out, you're pissed. but you're also probably not doing a very good job of your job if you're waiting for Sam Leavitt to leave to start looking for the next. If he doesn't commit at that time.
Right. You know what's crazy?
Especially when you know he's going on a couple more visits once he leaves.
Correct. You know what's crazy? One of the guys that was currently, not quarterbacks, but one of the guys that was on LSU team that everybody thought was going to enter the portal, there's 4 days left, that didn't enter the portal, and his offensive lineman is Solomon Thomas. Everybody thought he was going to be Leaf. Why, did he just announce that he was?
No, but Alex Atkins just got hired.
I shouldn't have said
anything. He's going to Missouri. Well, another school that LSU has been very incestuous with.
Missouri. Mm-hmm. I just saw that. I thought that was pretty interesting, but
he's the tight end coach at Missouri.
4 days left.
I would not call him, not an offensive coordinator. Thank God Jesus Christ, what a disaster that offensive room was between Brian Kelly, Joe Sloan, Alex
How about
Atkins,
this?
Brad
So everybody
Davis.
talked about Lane can't recruit, right? All this kind of stuff, and then they talked about Brian Kelly coming in, and I feel like over the last 2 weeks, you've seen more recruiting out of Lane Kiffin than you ever saw out of Brian Kelly in the 4 years he was there. I mean, is that fair to say?
The barrier of entry was not very high.
No, but Lane traveled. He's doing it. He's figuring out how to make sure it happens.
He went to Tennessee, got back on the plane this morning, and went to Arizona.
Yeah.
Like, Levitt, you're not. Levitt,
we're not letting you go. You're coming.
I don't have a choice.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, because I would imagine that conversation. And I said this morning. If anybody could have figured this out, could pull this off wherever you did, it's Kiffin, because he's already done this. His wife they got divorced, and she still hangs out with him. Like, he's been able to do this before. Like, look, I got the playbook.
Yeah,
I can bury the hatchet on this pretty quickly, because
and also I guess too, like from a fan standpoint, or actually knowing what the program is and what the top of the bar could be at the program. It's cool seeing the head coach have the job, but also not letting the job do the recruiting for him.
Mm-hmm.
Him actually actively going out on these trails, hitting the pavement, hitting the road, continuing to go and do the work, and not just, and I know I'm not going to sit here and say that's all he did, but seemingly not just stand on the revolving platform with an L back-to-back with the player, that guy that came into town. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually going out there, hitting the road, and putting it out there. Like, I know what this place can be, and I know how special it is, but you still got to put in the work, and it feels good to see someone actually doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going nut to butt with a tight end that leaves.
Yes.
Yeah.
What an analogy.
Well.
What an analogy by you. What an analogy.
I mean, he embarrassed that man so bad he decommitted.
That's crazy work that you can say that. I mean, whatever.
I didn't do it. He did it.
Hey.
I didn't say anything, but I did. I said.
Jared, just a heads up, dude. You may not get induced tomorrow. I mean, this game tonight may put her in labor too early.
You want me to let you in on a little bit of secret here?
What's that?
She didn't watch last week. She ain't watching this week.
She's not watching it. She's preoccupied. She's got her mind on other shit right now.
She's like, this is not good for my health right now.
Blood pressure.
Hey, I will say this. That's good willpower. I couldn't do that.
Hey,
that would make me
told her
worse.
Dad, like, hey, don't text me about it anyway, so I don't want to talk about it.
Damn.
The Monday night guys are picking the Steelers.
That's where she's at with this thing. Well, they haven't lost at home on a Monday night since like 1990 something. That's a real stat.
Yeah.
The Steelers have not lost at home in a Monday night game since the 90s.
That's the NFL.
20-something games straight.
That's the NFL saying, we don't want Tomlin to lose his job, so we're going to put him on Monday night, guarantee them win the game.
They had to. I forget exactly what it was. It was because of the scheduling and the time off that they were going to have. They couldn't have the shortest window to go back-to-back to play. That's how they ended up getting this night.
Got it. It's going to be a good one. Good defensive battle. Houston's good.
J.J. Watt put out a hype video.
Nice. Are you happy with the portal? Are you happy with LSU's roster now?
I mean, he has reshaped. Look at this room. When you look at the LSU offensive side of the football, you brought back 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count, I guess we should count Nick Anderson. Didn't get to see anything really from him.
Yeah.
He put up a game. I guess a game stat log in a year.
And I think, not to cut you off, but I think for as much shit as we talked on Weston Davis,
What the mental fortitude of that man.
and it shows you the ability that he's got for Kiffin and them to say,
No, stay.
we want you to stay, and him staying, right? Because I mean, it's been talked about. They're all these guys going in the portal aren't going. Not everybody went in the portal because they really wanted to go in the portal. They went in the portal because they say maybe you should go in the portal.
Yeah, rebuilding.
Look somewhere
this.
else.
Yeah, I think it speaks a lot to his ability, but also I guess coming from his side, I just I'm not gonna sit here and say Lane and or his staff is the only one in the country that believes in Weston Davis, but from the tape that you put out there,
right.
I imagine the screws at the top end of this thing aren't super high on you. So to have someone come in, to new regime come in and want you to stay and want you to battle it out, that probably feels better than a lot of these other situations and maybe opportunities he had out there for himself.
Yeah.
So, that I think that's where he is.
Great. You're about to say something too, Lloyd, before I cut you off? No?
Oh, no, I would say if LSU fans had it their way and you could only pick one person to hit the transfer portal, I think they all would have pointed directly at Weston Davis.
And look,
and he's the one person.
He was a freshman.
For sure. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's not fair to do to him.
Correct. It was a tough. It was a no-win situation for everybody.
I think it's very easy to say he did not play well, but he also was put in an unwinnable position.
Yep.
And I'm sure that, given the status he had coming out of high school, given the size that he has, I would love to see that would be a great reclamation project, and it'll be a real litmus test to see just how fucked up that offense was if he figures it out.
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
Because if you score more than 17 points a game, it's a win.
Yep. I like how the roster has been constructed. Obviously, there's still some guys that they're going to add. Bryce thinks they're going to add about 6 more guys over the next four days.
I think they're at 26 right now.
But I think that what they've brought in, I think you said they've reshaped the team. They've reshaped the offense, obviously. And I think the defense, they've had some really nice pieces. They brought in some young guys defensively, and then they've supplemented that with some very high level transfers. I think there's going to be, you're going to have a really good team tomorrow next year. So,
does the addition of Sam Leavitt make you go from what were your expectations of LSU?
My expectations when Lane Kiffin took the job was playoffs. That's it
for year one.
Yeah.
Because I do think that has been. Now I think that's the general consensus opinion after.
Right now, obviously, when you bring Lane Kiffin in, you assume he's going to get a guy who's going to be able to run his offense, and you assume he's going to, because he did it last year in Oxford. They spent all the money the year before going all in. Right, that was the conversation. They're going to go all in. This is the team, and they didn't make it to the playoffs. And then this next year, they weren't supposed to be as good because they had to go replace a whole bunch of guys, and he did it in the portal, and he did it strategically, and he did it with guys who fit what they were trying to do, and they had a better team. So Lane knows how to do it and understands what he needs to do in the portal. And so, when they hired him, it was, okay, playoffs. You're going to be able to go attract enough guys and pay enough guys that you can make it to the playoffs. You just got to get a quarterback that you feel, and I think everybody trusts that he was going to find a guy that could run his offense.
So let me ask you this question then. If that's your expectations, is it a disappointment if they don't make it in the playoffs? Year one, obviously. You're not. I think everybody can sit here and say you're not fired. You're not going anywhere after year one.
Yeah.
But if they don't make it to the playoffs in year one, is it a disappointment?
I think it's
It's a gauntlet.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say necessarily a disappointment, but it depends on how they don't make it. Right? Are they in it until the end, or are they eliminated early on and then, okay, hey, you've already got 3 losses before November, and then you finish the season out strong, and you never were a contention for the playoffs. I think that would kind of be disappointing, but they have a gauntlet of a schedule. Luckily, they have a lot of the big games at home. That's a hard question. Yeah, I would be disappointed, but I think it's how they don't make the playoffs, if that makes sense.
I would say this. I do think this. When you think of a Lane Kiffin football team, if you just had to say they're good at something, what part of football would you say that they're good at?
Offense.
Okay. So you expect them to be at least competent offensively.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So now you're going into, what is it, year 3 or year 4 for Blake Baker on defense?
Year 3.
Year 3, you've added more pieces. You get your signal caller back, right? You've added some impact pieces in the back end. You also have, which should be in year 2, a shutdown corner. I expect that defense to be even better.
Correct.
So if you're expecting competent offense and an even better defense, I think, and I know I get it, the schedule part of it is what it is, and I get it's year 1 of that system. I think it's a disappointment, but I don't think it's a disappointment in terms of, oh, maybe we did wrong, but I do think that the expectations for what he can do as an offensive play caller and a coach and that staff all coming together and what you already have in place on the defensive side, I think those things should marry well. That maybe in a lot of places in year 1 they won't marry as well as they will here.
Yeah.
And I think if they do, you should be a playoff contender.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the big thing on the defensive side of the football, right? And I actually talked about this last night with some people. It's getting Whit Weeks to come back is a big deal, right? But Whit flies around. They bring him a ton on blitzes. You have got, and I think you're seeing that in the portal, and you're seeing that in the guys they brought in, but you have got to find a way, and Bryce talked about it, you have got to find a way to get pressure with 4 and not have to blitz as much, right? And that allows Whit to go sideline to sideline and be the linebacker and not have to say, okay, you have to go create something by coming on a ton of blitzes. Now, they're still going to blitz him, but I don't think they want to blitz him at the rate that they blitzed him last year, and you only do that if you have a front 4 that can get to the quarterback.
And look, and I'll be honest with you, it may not even be using a 4. Like, I think there's a lot of self-study. I think there's a lot of tape. I think there's a lot of, hey, okay, not only did he do it against us, but they did a lot of this the majority of the year. You look at what Ole Miss did, and I'm just telling the truth about it. They got a lot of pressure, and they got people to play out of their comfortability, rushing just 3 a lot of the year.
Right.
How did they do it? How could we incorporate some of this stuff with our team? How can we marry some of these things together with what we do best?
Yeah.
It's like Blake will have to go into the lab and figure out, my defense is this, I love doing this, but how can I make either these 3 or these 4 be able to get pressure or be able to make it uncomfortable or be able to muddy up the picture for the quarterback? Some kind of way I need to be able to find ways to get these people uncomfortable, even if we can't quote-unquote get the pressure.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that was, if you had to look at the defense this year and you say, what was missing that? That was the big thing that was missing. Obviously, you wanted more depth in the linebacker position. But if you can get pressure with 3 or 4, that all of a sudden makes your linebackers better. That all of a sudden makes your secondary better because now there's not as much time, right? All those routes that these tight ends and these receivers that these linebackers had to cover down the field, it makes it a little bit easier to cover because you're not covering them as long, right? Quarterback got to get the ball out a little quicker, and it allows the defense to have stickier coverage. So, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think that's probably the one thing that you're gonna see the most improvement on next year.
I don't think it's a stretch to say the defense will be better next year than this year.
I agree.
I don't. But that's exactly why I said, if we're looking at what Lane Kiffin and his staff is able to do offensively, and if you're looking at where the defense was this year and who they got and who they're bringing in and what they've kept in place, you expect them to be better. Why shouldn't they be at least in the conversation for a playoff team very late into the year? Like, that's where I think they should be.
Yep. Correct. It's been a nice portal season.
That's what you're here to do.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We will be talking baseball on Wednesday. I'll let y'all know that. I mean, if I'm here.
Right.
What? You're gonna say something?
Yes, I would like to talk baseball, but as a little bit of a tease for baseball, the odds for College World Series have come out for national championship contenders.
LSU frontrunner.
LSU frontrunner. What do you think they are?
Plus 750.
Plus 800. It's already been logged.
Who's two?
Who's got the best odds? Who's got the shortest odds?
Let me check again, or our friends at FanDuel.
God, Aaron Rodgers looks old running, dude.
Yeah, he does, and he does the Super Mario. He is. I mean, he's an old man playing quarterback, but he's not bad.
No, he's had a fine year.
He did. Let's see. I just searched LSU's odds. Let's see. So, NCAA championship winners, 2026 college baseball World Series. The odds go as follows: LSU is the favorite at plus 800. Georgia plus 1,200. That's odd.
I think Georgia actually has.
I know. I just didn't expect that.
Yeah. So they're second with 1,200.
Yep. Texas plus 1,500. Tennessee plus 1,500. Go ahead and throw
Wow.
your
So
money
nobody's right behind LSU right now.
away. Mississippi State at plus 1,800.
It's all SEC teams.
Yeah.
Is this just SEC odds, or is this
No.
like
UCLA plus 1,500. The only team that is not in the SEC that is in not 2,000. And North Carolina at plus 2,000. Yep. So once you get into, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 of the 6 teams are SEC teams in the top 5. The lone
that tracks?
UCLA is the lone.
Yeah.
And they're ranked number 1 by Division One D1 baseball. LSU
UCLA?
ranked-
Oh, LSU.
No,
No, UCLA in division because LSU's won on
another poll.
Baseball America.
forget how
And
these
they
things
have
work.
the shortstop coming back who's supposed to be like the number 1 pick, right?
Yep.
Last time I saw
It's
them,
gonna be exciting.
yeah, last time I've seen them play each other.
When are we gonna
won.
go to the scrimmage? Whenever they start scrimmaging, me and you,
I know. Yes.
we're gonna go.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring the wee lad.
No, it's too young for that.
Oh,
I can't get him out the house till 6 weeks. Because then you start getting like some shots and you get him healthy.
vaccinated.
Yeah.
COVID-19.
No.
Oh,
Um,
is that not on the
that's not gonna be on the list.
oh measles?
The ones that we took when we were kids, that's probably the ones he's gonna have.
Chicken pox.
Not the ones that just came out of nowhere.
Some people don't do any of them.
That's been a conversation. Not with us, but that has been a conversation.
Just do the normal stuff that everybody does.
Just
Don't try
normal.
to,
You don't have to do too much. You don't have to do too little.
Here.
Let's just be smart about what we're trying to do. Just use common sense.
What do you think the first thing, in big picture, both of you, what do you think like the first thing it's going to,
It's a he.
will do to get in trouble? Like, which the ones you're looking forward to the most? Like sneaking out the house, drinking
Oh, that's
cigarettes?
way down the line.
I
though.
know. Or like cussing in school. Like, what do you think is the first
Did you
thing?
just say sneaking out of the house is the first thing that he's going to do to get in trouble?
I don't
No,
know. That's how I was laying the table.
I think
What age do you think he's sneaking out of the house at?
I mean, shit.
I-
Open door policy at the Courtney household.
I mean, obviously, there's gonna be things he's getting in trouble in before. I think the first thing's gonna be
Girls.
no, dude. He's gonna say something to his teacher
Mm-hmm.
that he probably heard. I had a friend of mine, his son was in school, daycare, and the teacher told him something, and he just
Nuh-uh.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
going on at the household?
Yeah.
This man is
So, that's yeah.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That's gonna.
I think it would be talking back about a chore around the house that he doesn't want to do.
Are y'all gonna physically abuse? We spanking?
Jesus Christ.
Are we spanking? Is it spanking
Oh,
household?
you need some Jesus, Lord.
Oh,
You need help, cuz.
I will discipline my son, however I see fit.
verbal abuse?
Nope. I will just be a good father.
Belts?
I will be a good father. I did get my ass whooped when I was a kid.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I got hit.
I made body slam.
And my mom
Yeah,
would,
body slam.
my mom used to whoop my ass too, and that was
Worst.
yeah.
That's always the worst. So what are you talking about?
The dad never really, at least in my experience, it was always like mom was telling dad to discipline, and it was a closed door conversation.
usually the kid early on when they're younger,
gets disciplined by the mother.
well, but more likely when the dad says something, they listen.
Mm-hmm.
When they're younger,
It's like a dog.
right? So I don't know. We'll see.
What if he just doesn't respect you at all?
My son's gonna be perfect. Okay.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Back off. He's gonna be a prodigy.
Yeah.
Like everyone says their kids are. Oh my God, he's doing this and that.
I
Whatever.
fucking hate that.
my son can catch already. He's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. They say this, they say that. I'm like, okay, that's. I mean,
He was running
I
before he could walk.
was walking at 9 months. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Were you?
I was. According to my mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just listening to. I mean, listen, I don't have a kid. I'm about to have one, and I know when your kids
Don't-
It should be. You should love your kid and think he's awesome,
But don't
but you gotta
overdo
understand.
it.
You gotta understand.
Nobody cares.
You gotta understand. No,
I hate he's gifted.
no, I'm not. Listen, my kid is. I don't have to publicize it. You're gonna see it. If he's good, you're gonna see it. That's it.
I can't wait.
Don't need to hype him up.
This kid's not gonna play sports. It's gonna be the funniest thing.
We'll see. I'm not gonna push it. I'm just gonna there'll be signs.
Mhm.
You'll see a lot of football games, a lot of baseball games, a lot of stuff happening.
You're watching the ball game
gonna
again,
see it.
Dad.
He's gonna see it.
I'm gonna watch the Grammys, the Oscars.
If he has that talent, that'd be cool too. Nobody in my family has it.
Quit
so-
playing the goddamn piano and pick up a ball.
Nope. We'll see what happens.
Well, it sounds like he's ready to be a father, huh?
No doubt. No doubt.
I think would fend for itself. Be like a stray cat. If you make it, you make it. We're already overpopulated in this area anyway.
You're
Hey, let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think there's any validity to this Indiana cheating scandal stuff?
Yes.
Explain. Why do you think that, Lloyd?
I don't know. Why do you think? Because Lloyd always believes that there's always a conspiracy about everything. So
I want to know, Lloyd, why do you think that?
I would not put it past Signetti to be able to do this, and it seems like he is a win at all cost. And and it feels like people don't expect it from Indiana. It's like, oh man, look at this great story, great coach. I mean, they picked off the first play of the game. I don't know what do you consider cheating? Like stealing signs?
no.
To me, because it happened because they finally ruled on it so long after Michigan had won a championship, people kind of wrote it off as if it was kind of a nothing thing, when what they were doing was above and beyond what anybody else in the game was doing in terms of cheating, and it still looked at as like, yo, that's cheating, right? And they disciplined the coaches and the people involved as so. So to me, they did those things, but they also kind of pushed it off as like, oh, it's not a thing. It's almost like you kind of go back and look at all the stuff that was going on with the Astros, and it was like it's a real sore thumb if we go out and say now that this is an illegitimate title or the illegitimate season, however you want to look at it. I think if the things that are kind of alleged is actually going on, it's a huge deal. Now, will it be treated like one? I would imagine that sport, and I would imagine that the NCAA, and I would imagine that college football wants nothing to do with that actually being real. But if it is real, in my eyes, it is a big thing. Like, it is a very much so high-level competitive advantage that you're not supposed to have.
And the cheating allegations they are hacking into, right? Did I read that right? Like they're hacking into other teams' systems to take their game plans.
Film that they're, I guess. Maybe
Yeah, that's 100%
cheating.
cheating.
A level of Spygate, if you will. Like, yeah, I mean it's kind of shady. I will say that.
That's if you're hacking into somebody's server to get their stuff, that's cheating, no doubt.
Yeah, and I guess the last little bit I put on this, and like I said, I don't know if it is. I just know when the Michigan thing broke, it broke from burner accounts too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Take that for what it's worth.
Right.
And that's that whole thing for a long time before there was actually fire where the smoke was, and they let people get out and move along and go ahead. So I don't know.
Yeah, and look, if it's real, obviously, yeah, that is 100% cheating. Now I'm not pushing back, but the other side, devil's advocate on this is, after everything that happened with Michigan. It is, in Indiana coming out of nowhere, it's easy to say, oh, they're cheating. They're stealing signs. They're doing this. And I'm not saying it's not true.
Of course.
It may be true. But, we've seen it happen before with a team that wasn't good and all of a sudden became really good, won the national championship because they were stealing signs. So it's like hey, we've seen it. Now let's just use that excuse again. I don't know. I mean, it'd be a wild.
I will say this. And here's my one last thing. Like, when it comes to this entire situation, Tulane's head coach went to where?
Tulane's head coach went to Florida.
Okay. James Madison's head coach went to where?
I don't remember where he go. Oh, UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
He took another big job as well. So The only thing that I'm pointing at when it comes to this is like they brought up the whole Oregon thing, and they showed that I think Indiana had 7 or 8 5-stars compared to, I'm sorry, 4-stars compared to the 55 5 and 4-stars
Right.
that Oregon had. If there's any game in American sports right now, any team game in American sports where sheer physicality, like the brawn of the physicality part, truly does matter probably more than the next sport, it is football, right? And it's hard if you think that the Tulane coach did a really good job, enough for him to get an SEC job, well, his team got smacked. If you think that the James Madison coach did a good enough job for him to get a big job, well, his team got smacked. Or are you saying that those guys didn't do a good enough job of coaching teams that are filled with a lot of players like that?
Right.
So that part of it makes me feel like, something's a little weird. But maybe Cignetti and his group is just that much better of coaches.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they're good. Maybe they're that good of coaches, and maybe they got older guys and they supplement them. I don't know.
Got older, better, more experience.
Yeah.
More looked over. They're better evaluators. Maybe they got all those things working.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely interesting. We'll see what happens. Also, last thing before we get to the segments, do you think that what is that?
That's what they're hacking into.
Oh.
This is the it's a cloud-based server that they are using Pixelot and Vio, which will record the games and put them on the cloud, or record practice and put it on the cloud. So it's very feasible. And according to Hunter Hall, who also, feelings are hurt, obviously. Alabama gets brought to the woodshed 33-0. Apparently they have cybersecurity guys on their football staff that weren't on the football staff.
Well, that's the other part of it, right? He went back to school to become to go to school for cyber.
In 2023 as well. So it's a guy that played football. And look, I'm not throwing anything on him. This is the guy that we're talking about, or this is the guy that people are talking about, or that they've highlighted as, this is kind of shady. It's a guy that played football, who started a career working in football, went back and got a post-grad degree in cybersecurity in 2023, and now he's back working in football. It's not like the cybersecurity degree came in, 2015. It's very recent.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. The information that's out is somewhat smelly. I'm not putting any kind of, yep, they did it, but that's where it's at.
Correct. Now, it
stinks.
The other thing that I want to talk about is...
Would you be mad?
Yeah. Yeah. But the other conversation goes to the NFL. What about the smoke behind the electromagnetic deal that they got next to the 49ers facility?
Wild.
Did y'all get into that?
Yes.
Jared?
Yeah, I looked at a little bit of that, and it's kind of crazy because it's that team has been a very injured team over the past few years, and if that is all real and valid, and that's a tough look. It's a very tough look.
I mean, look, if the 49ers didn't have the information, and that's very unfortunate for those guys of not knowing, but if they've known about it and ignored it and said this isn't real, that's tough too.
Low-frequency electromagnetic fields can degrade collagen, weaken tendons, and cause soft tissue damage at levels regulators call safe. But it doesn't seem to correlate, as the 49ers are statistically the most injured team in the NFL over the past decade. Since moving to Levi Stadium in 2014, which has the electromagnetic, whatever the fuck that is, housing
next door
building,
to it, right?
Yes. Top 5 in adjusted games lost for 10 of 11 seasons. 7 to 8 full Achilles patellar tendon ruptures. The league average is 2 to 3 a year. 40-plus major hamstring or calf tears. High ankle syndesmosis injuries every single year. No other franchise comes close.
Yeah, it's a crazy deal.
Very much so. It's wild. It's a wild situation.
Yep.
And then this guy that, how do you even think of this stuff?
People are smart, man.
Yeah, Peter Cowan is the one that went over to the field and started to register with a gauze meter. It read 8.5 milligauss at the far edge of the fields, inside the facility's weight room, film room, recovery areas, potentially 10 to 25 milligrams spiking higher than any other place in the facility. So it's on the practice field and inside the building.
So where they're at the most.
Yes, and they're always heard.
Crazy.
EMF safety. That's like a Fallout episode.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
What would you do?
I don't know. I mean, that's a crazy deal. All right, let's get to the seggies, Lloyd.
Pissed. I mean, I would be pissed.
Mistake. That's the mistake of the day.
Could be
Mistake of the day, Indiana. There's a lot of mistakes of the day going
a lot
on
of
right
cheating going on.
now. You got a mistake of the day.
I do have a mistake of the day.
Okay.
Let's see what I put in here. No, this is the curtain call. I have a mistake of the day. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Disgusting behavior. As there has a man, you know how things go viral on the internet. A woman dating her boyfriend has determined or found out that he does not ever in his entire life use soap in the shower. He just uses the hot water. And it's she put it on the internet. 4.3 million views later, it is now this man has been outed as a disgusting, vile.
Doesn't I think Matthew McConaughey, right? He doesn't use
Right,
soap.
but he's famous. So it's different. But here is her.
So I've been dating in Austin. It's terrible, but I didn't see this one coming, you all. So first time I go to this guy's apartment, we've gone on a few dates,
We have to listen to the whole thing.
and I notice that he doesn't have soap in his shower. Maybe he's out. I don't know. Don't say anything about it. A month goes by. We've been going on other dates. We go to his apartment. I look in the shower. Still no soap. This is weird. This is really weird. So I ask him and I say, hey, do you have any soap? And he says, oh, I ran out. I don't have any soap right now. And I said, well, how long have you been out of soap? He's like, oh, a few days. And I said, well, what have you been doing? He said, I've been using hot water. And I told him that I actually noticed about a month before that he didn't have any soap. And he
set him up.
Eventually admits that just using hot water is fine to wash your
This
body
guy's awesome.
in his mind.
You
So I
I gotta
told
do
him that I did
follow-up
not agree
questions.
with that
Follow-up questions.
and that he needed to get some soap. So he got some soap.
Never
and
used it.
then I went back to his apartment. He had soap. The soap was completely full. I asked him if he used the soap. He said he did. I unscrewed the cap. The little
Jesus
foot
Christ.
is still
I wouldn't
on
wanna
the
date
soap.
you.
He had not used
I wouldn't
the
want to
soap.
date you.
So
Still
that's
hit.
how my dating life is going.
So I have a bunch of follow-up questions. You notice there is no soap,
Your face.
right? You notice there is no soap. Mm-hmm. But you only noticed it because you looked in the shower, not because you smelled him, not because he smelled bad. You've been with him for 2 months. And if you're looking in his shower and you've been in his shower, you've definitely seen him without clothes on.
Well, maybe that's why she was smelling. Maybe that's why she was looking at the shop. She was like,
You stink.
smell her.
But she would, I think in that video, if she's going to go out on the video and out this guy, I would imagine she would say, oh, I kind of felt like he was stinky a little bit. She never mentioned that. She never noticed that. And so now you're coming out this guy and you're outing him because he doesn't have soap, but you didn't notice it. You didn't smell him.
Who's grosser?
What?
The girl or the guy?
What do you mean grosser?
Her for willingly sleeping with the man that doesn't use
Well,
soap.
if she thought he smelled bad and still did that, then that's kind of, you have to look at yourself in the mirror, sweetheart. You know what I mean? But if you didn't smell
Maybe
him,
she likes a little, musk aroma.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't smell him and you didn't know there was an issue there,
Maybe she thought it was
No
a
harm, no
little
foul?
tough. No.
I mean, I'm not saying I would never do that. I like using soap, of course.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Like that's a wild deal. I mean, if you didn't notice it, if you only noticed it because you looked at the soap and there's no soap, and you didn't notice it because of the smelling, then like maybe he's right. Maybe hot water works.
The thing about it is the adamant use of no soap. He's like, he's not going to do it.
Like you got the soap, like at least pour some out.
But then he lied about
So,
it.
like, maybe she's saving him a little grace. Maybe there's a lot of people watching that know exactly who he is. We're assuming that she didn't smell him. Maybe that's literally why she was like, man, I got to, let me go check and see, because this something's tart. It don't smell right here. Maybe. I don't know.
That's a wild. Some mistake of the day, no soap.
Number one comment. She keeps going back to the apartment though. That's my favorite part.
That's it. Like
it's not a hard and fast rule for her.
So, I mean, you obviously, like, if you smelled that bad, you would not keep going back. That's my follow-up question.
The guys, the comments are this are hilarious. Objectively, all dudes standing up for dudes. Like
I can imagine.
Back to
why do you keep going back is probably the big thing.
And I got why you so stank, brother.
Dang. I like smelling good. I use soap.
It feels nice to be clean.
I like soap.
But if he was raised in a home that never used soap, he doesn't know any better. He's like Tarzan.
It does track for Austin though.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep Austin smelly.
Yeah, it does track.
But the funniest thing is all dudes in here. Then of course, Kara Pennington makes it way bigger than it needs to be.
Of course.
If a person will lie like this about small things early in a relationship, they'll lie about bigger things down the road. Get out of there. He doesn't want accountability. Run, girl, run. 53 comments.
You know what's crazy? It's like, hey, you might be right, but you're also, shut up.
Shut up. That's not your problem.
That's crazy.
That's wild. Wow. Okay. Good mistake of that.
It's crazy, yeah.
You got a curtain call?
I do have a curtain call, too. Have you seen the new Leo movie with Sean Penn?
No, what is it?
It's a weird name.
Is it a good movie?
Yes, it's fantastic.
Okay. Is it in the
theater? Let's see.
You say theater or theater?
Movie theater.
I say theater, but a lot of people get mad at me. They say theater.
Theater.
You go to the cinema? You go to the picture show?
Yes.
The picture show?
Picture show. Like with Pee Wee Herman.
I wanna use that. I wanna start using that again. Let's go to the picture show.
Let's go to the picture. Yeah, it sounds like, I don't know. Picture show sounds deviant.
It's old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you bring booze into the movie theater when you go?
No. I know you do.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Get an icy. But
I do get
speaking of doing things you're not supposed to and things that are probably frowned upon, but some people don't care, and Sean Penn, God damn it, not Sean Penn, it is Sean Penn. He's smoking inside again. He won't stop. He was at this, what is this, the Golden Globes? They had to ask him like 10 times to quit smoking inside. He just looked at him and lit up another cigarette. He's like, I'm not. I can't help it.
I do what I want to do.
And I will say, I don't think people care because he's Sean Penn, and it's a boss move because cigs inside is legit. Like whenever you do it. Now, the people that do it when they're in college, okay in the fraternity house, not in your actual apartment or home. But I do know people that have done that, and they don't graduate usually on time. Because your house does smell like just a fucking cigarette.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But when you hit the point of your life of I'm smoking inside, not going great.
No, it's not a good spot.
It's never a celebratory thing. It's, fuck, I'm failing.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
No doubt.
I'm leaving anyway.
So the curtain call is Sean Penn just not
Sean Penn, yeah. Still keeping cigs inside, the tradition that should never die but should never exist in the first place.
Love that.
Yep.
Jared, you got one?
Oh, yep. Well, I thought it was about Leo. I didn't even see the cigarette. I was like, oh, he's talking to a girl that's over the age of 25.
But his girlfriend is not.
No.
Okay. Jared, you got a curtain call?
Yes, I got one to the absolute lowest of hanging fruit that there is. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it today. And I'm actually hoping you guys stay on schedule and you can get this thing done when you're scheduled to get it done. But my curtain call is to 2 new dads.
I was going to do the same thing. I was going to do the same thing.
You bring a new life into the world. Shout to us.
On purpose.
On purpose.
Lives about to change. Lives about to enter. Like, we got a lot going on. So that's my curtain call.
I have thought about this for a long time. I have been there's a couple things from an early age in life that I wanted. One was to make it to the big leagues. The other one was to be a dad, right? I unfortunately was not able to grow up with a dad. So I was very much looking forward to this. And sometimes it takes a little longer than anticipated. But we are here, and I'm very excited, very nervous, very excited. But it's going to be great. It's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of traveling to do, me and you, on our travel baseball teams.
Can I coach the team?
Yeah.
You can be
dugout dad?
I don't even know if I want you in the bench. Oh, no, as a bench coach.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. I got to do something. I can't. That's on y'all if y'all let me influence the child that much. Bad parenting.
Well, I mean, they're very
impressionable.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun.
is. I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun. Very curious to see what he's gonna look like.
Oh, you think you are?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh man, I think we got a little bit more of a mixed bag than you do, Gus. I'll throw that one out there.
That's a very, very good point.
The first one in history.
Very good point.
Tiger Woods.
Oh shit.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, but it's gonna be. God, it's funny. Fuck.
Yeah,
that's very funny. I mean, that's true. It is. You know.
he take that aces.
I
You can't trump that. Yours is going to be interesting. Blonde hair, you think?
No, I think it's gonna have dark hair.
What about you? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll find out soon.
Yes.
We'll see.
Find out soon. It's gonna be exciting though. But yeah, it's a good curtain call. I was gonna do the same thing. So, shout out to the boys. Shout out to the new generation that we got coming into the world, and shout out to Uncle Lloyd.
That's right.
Uncle
Class
Lloyd.
of 20.
We're 2026, so 18 years from 2026. Class of 2044. Is that right?
What do you think the NIL is going to look like then? I mean, you could retire early.
College may not even be a thing.
That's
anymore.
true.
You never know. Maybe minor league football.
Or minor league baseball.
All right, that's all we got for you on this beautiful Monday night. Enjoy Monday night football with playoff game. We will be back potentially
I don't know what's going to happen.
on Wednesday. I'm planning on being
tuned,
back.
baby.
I'm playing.
Yeah, stay tuned.
I'll let y'all know early on Wednesday if we're gonna have a show or not, because we have a doctor appointment in the morning, so I'll know early. But we'll be back. Planning on being back live on Wednesday in studio. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you can't watch us, but you like listening to us, or anywhere you get your pods. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. See you on Wednesday, maybe. Peace.
Can't wait to buy these kids
Deuces.
movies.
Dad's loading.
That's right.
Oh. Oh no.
Give them pieces.
Yeah.
Too old for this shit.